Alright, here I am yet again, back in this game. I'm just having a quick look around to see what I'm going to do. I have no idea of the computing concept I'm going to talk about this time because, gee whiz, reality. I'll attack things with a lump of meat. I did see an ad for the Try the World of Goo, which is a fun little game. In fact, one of the cool things is, what can computers and other simulations provide us in terms of experiences that we cannot otherwise gain? Because when you get down to it, some of this stuff is actually insanely complicated. If you think about it, the simulation and the physics required to have a car racing game has to be pretty spot on, as a thing. And that makes it difficult to code for, to create something that gives an adequate representation of a reality and amount of seeds. Because it's not more than it's more complicated than just, if this is true, then do this. You've got to find a way of balancing out all the physics and making them an adequate simulation. I really need to get beyond this valley. I think I'm getting bored here. Mind you, I also need a dwarf. And my axe. Yeah, so, part of it and part of the classic coding technique is to get a deep understanding of the problem, whatever the hell it is, and then try and develop a solution. So, and programming comes down to a couple of really simple fundamental concepts of making the code do what you want it to do. And that's, I suppose that's it really. So, coding is, it's always put forward as this amazing magical skill. The hacker sits down at the computer and bang, 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 suddenly the internet opens up and everything is controlled, which is pure and utter BS really. Because any code related activity is usually hours and hours. And when I say hours, I mean hours, if not days worth of work to make it do what you want it to do, like a good little piranha. And that's a fairly simple challenge. Because when you write a piece of code, and I can't really give examples here yet because there's nothing here in Minecraft that I can really use to describe that. Although somebody did suggest that I use redstone for binary. Oops, wrong one. Which is a great idea, and I should do so once I actually find out more about redstone, because it seems like a lot of hard work. I might leave that over there and cut my way through. Oh, that didn't last too long. Now there is a way through. I hear skelly bones. Or do I? I'm getting distracted again. It's very easy to do. Apple, nom nom. And I have a little bit of seeds. Almost no seeds. Do I press the run button? So it's difficult to describe programming to non-programmers. It's because, part of it's the joy of solving a problem, whatever that problem may be. And sorry for any background noise you may or may not hear. It's just a thing. I should have enough resources to do another deep dive and see what comes about from that. Although some more food would be useful. because I'm going to run out at some point. Yeah, so getting back to what I'm trying to describe here without actually describing it, that's a challenge. So the challenge of programming is to take something, an idea, and translate it into a sequence of steps. Commonly this is referred to as an algorithm. You work out what you're going to do, what order you're going to do it in, and then codify those steps, which is basically coding. 25 gold. I wonder what I'm going to do with that, but plenty of redstone. I should look at how to do repeaters and stuff. Anyhow, you build a sequence, and it's basically patterns of text. So, building a pick in Minecraft is always the same sort of thing. You convert your wood blocks. I might only use half of that. Build a bunch of sticks. Once you have a bunch of sticks, you go, yeah, great, and I should empty all this stuff. But anyhow, you set up a series of picks, and that whole sequence of the arrangement of these sort of things is like what they call, it'll come to me in a second. It will, honest. Oops. Basically the planning for your algorithm. I know I'm going to need that. I'll save some of that. You work out the sequence, what you're going to do it in, what order you're going to do it in, how you're going to do it, all that kind of stuff. Get rid of those. So it becomes a thing of, I'm always grabbing the sticks and placing my stone at the top. Why? Don't know. It's just the way I'm doing things. But the thing is that you work out a sequence or a plan for what you're going to do. And that becomes very important because it's part of how you're tackling this problem of dealing with whatever it is you want to deal with. Got 2 buckets of lava, and I'm going to have to use some coal, I suspect. Yeah, that'll do. 20, I actually want 16. Because that gives me a full stack. That can go, they all stay. So, working out the process by which you do something is actually a very important skill set to have in programming, because the idea is that you want to achieve your goal in the minimum amount of steps, i.e. IT is the art of lazy, and I've said it in class and I can say it again. It's, basically what it's about. What's the easiest way to achieve your goal? And so you want to be as lazy as possible, which means making this process as simple as possible and as direct as possible. And I am going to mark this out very crazily like this. Better not fall in there, that would be bad. So you really want to basically describe what you're going to do. Now, how you describe that is you describe with a special programming language, which defines how you're going to store information, how you're going to plan, how you're planning on manipulating that information, and so on and so forth, to get to a solution. Because in, I suppose, this sort of programming kind of stuff, what it ends up being is you just manipulate a bunch of stuff and you get to an answer. And the experience of actually programming stage by stage, you get more and more complicated to build better and better solutions. That's where that is. This is the point where I get blown up by a creeper, I suspect. Yeah, and so as a fundamental concept, it starts at that point. You work out what you're going to do and then how you're going to do it, and that sort of stuff. Now, and obviously in some of these situations, there are certain conditions that have to be met. if you dig out below gravel, it falls. That's what it does. So if you do maths, it has to be done in a logical order. And of course, programming is really just lots and lots of maths. Yes, I know you didn't want to hear that, but get with the program it actually is. So how do you simplify this mathematical process for yourself? Well, you draw on the shoulders of giants. The simple way is you steal everything. Well, not quite actually, but you make use of the mathematics that other people have studied, developed and done to try and solve that problem easily, which is why mathematics is one of those tool sets that good programmers will develop and foster. You don't have to be great at it, but you have to understand how it works, and you have to be able to hunt out information so you can get access to the better quality tools, i.e. the better maths. People who develop games in terms of graphic engines or shaders, and I should have actually installed the shader into this version of Minecraft so I could show because it's pretty. But the idea is that you develop an understanding of the mathematics behind the shader so that you can then manipulate what it does a lot easier. So this is, it's a conceptual thing, really. All I need now is for a creeper to jump down on top of me and go boom. So, maths is one of those tool sets used in many different industries. But do you need to be good at maths to be a programmer? It helps, but it's not a requirement, thankfully. But other skills are also just as important. So in the whole area of game development, which is a fairly broad area, excuse me while I just randomly mine some coal here, it really focuses in, for game dev, on a couple of different skill sets. You've got digital artists who are producing a pleasing arrangement of pixels to create game art that is visually appealing, and that's important. It's one of those fundamental things. What makes good art? Well, that's a really important question because it's more complicated than you'd think in a lot of cases. Oh my God, this goes on forever. Do I really want to go this way? I'm getting fundamentally lost. Wonderful. And finding zombies. Isn't that perfect? Yeah, they're down there somewhere. Oh, it's one of my torches. Great, I've found a way back into something I found earlier. Woohoo! I don't know if I want to, but anyhow. So, there's also audio. I mean, people who are audiophiles, passionate about the music. It's all an important experience because it's fundamental to the language of game development, is to be able to provide those audio experiences. There are a number of games I've played over the years that have been, they're a good game, but what's really sold them is that quality of sound that really gets you going into the game. One of my favourites, Thief. It's 1997 by Looking Glass Studios. The original Thief Gold, that is, the 2014 version, not so great. But hey, it's just my personal bias, mainly because it's a rubbish game. So that game has a great audio soundtrack, and it really uses sound creatively to put you in the space of that game. So, and that's basically just arranging pixels that represent audio to create the experience you want. And that's, again, not programming, but computer art of a type anyway. I might just run away. Ooh. Yep. And I can hear Ode to Joy in the background for some bizarre reason. Anyhow, I've just got myself lost, haven't I? Beautiful. Wait a minute. That seems almost familiar. Is it this way out? Nope. I should start putting signs up pointing me the right direction. That would be a sensible thing to do. Because this rabbit warren's getting more and more complicated. And undoubtedly someone in the comments will go, "Ha, go that way, you fool." And I'll have to find the way out and back and stuff. Ouch. I'm almost getting there. Wait a minute. Nope. But this goes back. Yeah, so the idea of programming or sequentially ordering your ideas is actually a critical fundamental to game development. And as I head back to the surface, you can understand why I'm thinking that this is, a topic worth covering. I'll finish rabbiting on here and just stop, and then I'll head back and pack up.